Hello everyone, it's Math Coach Marian McCloskey again. Today is our second lesson of the Summer Learning for All video series. In these videos, we will show you some fun ways you can practice your math skills at home. Now, I like to travel, so for some extra fun, each week I will include a picture of a place that I have gone. Last week was a picture from my trip to Austria, and this week's picture is from a trip I took to Japan. So if you're interested in learning more about the places I have visited, feel free to email me. Now let's get started. So let's say that I have $2 in my pocket. It can be any of the coins that are shown below. So what might be in my pocket? So we have the option of pennies, which are worth 1 cent, nickels are 5 cents, dimes are 10 cents, quarters are 25 cents, silver dollars are 50 cents, and then the $1 coin. I want you to think of as many ways as you can. I'm going to give you a little bit of think time. If you need more think time, go ahead and hit pause and then restart the video when you are ready. So some possible combinations, I could have 4 quarters and 10 dimes because 4 quarters makes $1 and 10 dimes makes $1, so together that would be 2. I could have 195 pennies and 1 nickel. That would make 200 cents, which is also $2. Or I could have a $1 coin, a silver dollar, now I'm at $1.50, and then 2 more quarters gets me to $2. Now there's many more ways, those were just a few. Let's take a look at some follow-up questions. Jada told Noah that she has $2 worth of quarters and dimes in her pocket, and 17 coins altogether. What are some things that cannot be true about the coins in Jada's pocket? And explain how you know. Go ahead and hit pause and hit play when you're ready to hear some possibilities. Couple possible things is that Jada cannot have 20 dimes and 0 quarters because that's not 17 coins, even though it does make $2. She also cannot have 10 dimes and 7 quarters because that is not $2, even though it does make 17 coins. Here is a table that shows some combinations of quarters and dimes that are worth $2. Go ahead and hit pause, take some think time. What numbers would complete that table so that the quarters and dimes are worth $2? Hit play when you're ready to hear the answer. So for 4 quarters, that would take 10 dimes because 4 quarters already makes $1, so we would need 10 more dimes, make that other $1. If I don't have any dimes, that means all $2 is quarters, so I would need 8 of those. 5 dimes would mean I already have 50 cents, so I would need $1.50 in quarters, so that would take 6. Is it possible for Jada to have 4 quarters and 13 dimes in her pocket? Explain how you know. Go ahead and hit pause, hit play when you're ready to hear the answer. It's not possible because even though 4 quarters and 13 dimes make 17 coins, it's not going to be worth $2. That's actually worth $2.30. So how many quarters and dimes must Jada have? Explain your reasoning. Go ahead and hit pause, hit play when you're ready to hear the answer. So Jada actually has 2 quarters and 15 dimes. That makes 17 coins that are also worth $2 because 2 quarters is 50 cents and 15 dimes is $1.50, so the total makes $2 with 17 coins. How'd you do on figuring that out? Let's take a look at our mathematical mindset minute for this week. Our focus this week is that mistakes are valuable. So you might not know it, but it's actually really good to make mistakes. We now know that when people make mistakes, their brains are growing. Research shows that when you make mistakes, synapses fire and your brain grows. So when you get something wrong, which we all do, instead of being discouraged, tell yourself that your brain just grew. So what mistakes can you think of that you've made before that have helped you learn? Let's go to our lesson. Our lesson this week is going to focus on probability, and we're going to think about the weather. So before we get to that, what is probability? Probability is the chance that something will happen. You can also think about it as how likely it is that something will occur. Sometimes we can measure a probability with a number, like a 10% chance. Or we can use words such as impossible, unlikely, possible, equally likely, or certain. Flipping a coin is an example of probability. So you have a 50% chance of getting heads or getting tails because there are two possible outcomes, and each one is equally likely to happen. So let's take a look at this chart. What do you notice? What percentages mean that something is more likely to happen? What percentages mean that something is less likely to happen? Take a second to look at that chart. So I see that 50% is in the middle. So that's when an event is equally likely to occur, like the flipping of the coin. But there might be times when an event is more likely to occur or less likely to occur. So when I take a look at the chart, if something is 100%, that means it is certain to happen. All the way down to a 0% chance means that it is impossible. So probability is all about 0% up to 100% chance. We will look at probability and how it applies to weather predictions. So what do the percentages given in the weather forecast mean? How accurate are they? Let's watch this short video to learn more about the percentages meteorologists give for their weather forecast. A meteorologist is the name for a person who predicts the weather. Let's check it out.
Have you ever felt like you need a PhD in meteorology to decipher the daily weather forecast? Like that 50% chance of rain thing? What does that mean exactly? Does it mean that it'll be raining 50% of the time today? Or that there's a 50% chance that it'll rain at some point today? Meteorologists call this number the probability of precipitation. According to the National Weather Service, this percentage is supposed to tell you the chance of precipitation occurring at any one spot in the area covered by the forecast. They define it with a mathematical formula. The probability of precipitation equals C times A. C is the meteorologist's level of confidence that precipitation will occur somewhere in the forecast area. And A is the percentage of the area that's expected to get measurable precipitation, which is defined as 0.25 of a millimeter in the United States. That's usually enough for a couple little puddles to form. If your weather person is 100% confident that 25% of the forecast area is going to get rain, that's a 25% chance of rain. But if they're 50% confident that 50% of the area is going to get rain, that's also a 25% chance of rain. This means that the more you move around, the more likely you are to run into that part of the map that has a chance of getting rain at some point. If you're still a little confused, don't feel bad. This is the official NWS definition of the probability of precipitation, but even meteorologists admit they aren't consistent about it. A 2015 survey of 188 meteorologists and broadcasters found that many people calculated probability of precipitation in slightly different ways. Different specialists had different ways of turning the outputs of their forecast models into percentages. They also varied in how they generalized from the chance of rain in one very specific spot to a wider area, and how they generalized a prediction for half a day to a more specific time. What they all had in common, though, was a lot of confidence that their answer was the right one. Bottom line, predicting the future is hard, and the probability of precipitation could be better defined by meteorologists and better understood by the public. But if the forecast says 10% chance of rain, and it rains, your meteorologist wasn't wrong. You don't need to call them and complain. It's just that with the current conditions, you happen to draw the short straw. Thanks to all of our Patreon patrons who keep these answers coming. If you want to learn more about weather science, check out our video where I explain why rain has a smell.
So you might have heard someone say that the weather forecast is always wrong. But as we can see from that video, predicting the future can be a tricky thing. We now know that we could get a different prediction based on the meteorologist who is making the forecast. So this next week, you will have a chance to make your own weather predictions and compare them to trained meteorologists. Let's take a look at your assignment. So first, for 5 days in a row, you're going to do the following. You're going to look outside when you wake up and predict how likely you think it is that it will rain using a percentage, from a 0% chance to a 100% chance, or anywhere in between. Record your prediction each day and give a reason why you think your percentage is accurate. Next, you're going to check 3 different weather forecasts each day and record the percentage of rain that each location gives. Some places to check are listed below. So for each, you'll type your zip code into the search bar. If you're not sure of your zip code, go ahead and use 49008. Next, after those 5 days, the first thing you're going to do is write down how accurate you think you were in predicting your chance of rain. And why do you think that? Next, you're going to decide which weather site was the most accurate and explain how you know. Last, you're going to send your predictions and your conclusions to the following email: johnsonma@kalamazoopublicschools.net. You can send them using a Google Doc, a Word doc, or take a picture of your handwriting. You can come back to this video as many times as you need. Check out the Summer Learning for All website for future videos. See you next time. Thanks for watching.